Hello side members, I want to talk about concepts for basic improvising. This is a downloadable PDF lesson series. It has 56 pages, 22 lessons, 160 fretboard diagrams, and 31 video demonstration links. I'm J.U. Daly, and MasterGuitarSchool.com is my website. I create the content for it. 2017 is my 50th year of playing the guitar. Yeah, I'm an old guy. It's been a good 50 years though. I've spent approximately 32,000 hours on stage, thousands of hours in the recording studio. I've taught 50 to 90 students a week for over 30 years, and I have published a method book for guitar called Vertical Truth, Chordal Mechanisms for the Guitar. It's in use by teachers all over the country. And this web-based stuff that I'm doing now, I'm just getting started on that. So I've been around a while and I've done it for a while, and that's why you should pay attention. Now, back to concepts for basic improvising. How can it be basic with 22 lessons and 31 demonstration videos and 160 fretboard diagrams? Well, it's basic because the whole thing, everything about it, is related to pentatonic scale patterns. And pentatonic scale patterns are the most basic scales that are used. So it's basic in that sense. It's basic in that there are concepts that are very simple and easy to understand that enable you to take a very simple pattern and make real music out of it. And I'm going to give you a very abbreviated version of the very first lesson in this series. It's based on the minor pentatonic scale, which is something that you can find everywhere. Just do a search for minor pentatonic and you'll see this all over the place. This is what we're going to base this first lesson on, is a minor pentatonic scale in the key of A. Looks like this. So the fingering is 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, and descending. We're not even going to use that whole scale. We're just going to use 4 notes out of that scale. Those 4 notes are on the 4th string and the 3rd string. Okay? Those 4 notes is what we're going to be dealing with. Now, the lesson series is called Concepts for Basic Improvising. So the overarching, the main concept from which all the other concepts are derived is that music is a language. And like spoken language, the principles of spoken language can be applied to music to very good effect. And to demonstrate that, we're going to take these 4 notes and we're going to think about them in a linguistic kind of way. So when you speak in English, you speak in phrases. How do you know when a phrase ends? There's silence. So the first concept is a sense of phrasing. And it's the silence between the phrases that define the phrases. If you don't have the silence between phrases, you don't have phrases. So you have a series of notes, and then you have a pause and another series of notes. So there was 2 phrases, and those were defined by the silence that was between them. You can have a long phrase, you could have a short phrase, but you still have to have silence at the end to define the phrase. So that's the first concept, is a sense of phrasing. Second concept, when you engage in spoken language, you use lots of inflection. Inflection in spoken language is things like stressing syllables. You don't put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, right? So now we have certain syllables are louder than other syllables. The technical term for that is dynamics. Anything I can do to get one note to sound different from another would be called an inflective device or an inflective technique. They include things like hammer-ons, pull-offs, slurs, vibratos, bends. These are all inflective devices. Now, when speaking about inflection in spoken language, the meaning of spoken language is not determined by vocabulary, it's determined by inflection. And that can be demonstrated by the fact that I can make the same word mean two different things, right? Right. Same word, different meanings. The meaning is determined by the inflection. In musical language, the meaning of musical language is feeling. So in the same way that meaning is determined by inflection in spoken language, feeling is determined by inflection in musical language. So when we put all these inflective devices together and mix them up, and we combine that with a sense of phrasing, you have a language. So you might have a conversational quality going on where you have one guy that says, second guy says, first guy asks a question, second guy gives him the answer. First guy doesn't like the answer, it makes him mad. You see? Because when people are angry, they talk very staccato. They cut their words off at the end to communicate the anger. So you can't play with too much inflection. The more you wiggle around, the better it sounds. So you have things that sound like, that was a phrase, that was a phrase. I'm not leaving these four notes. I'm staying in this basic four-note area, and I play with phrasing and inflection. If you do that, it'll be musical, it'll be good, and you'll get the girls. So that, in a nutshell, is the very first lesson in this series of 22 lessons that I call Concepts for Basic Improvising. And it shows you that even though there's a vast quantity of material, I mean 160 fretboard diagrams, it's basic. And you don't have to have a lot of chops, you don't have to have a lot of knowledge. You just have to have a very simple pattern and use the concepts of phrasing and inflection to create music, to create a language. And that's what the whole thing is about. The next lesson, I will demonstrate a solo based on just those four notes and using phrasing and inflection to make music. And I'll construct a solo to a backing track so you can hear it in context, and you'll see that you can make real music with just what I've shown you today. And the way that I teach and the way that my lessons are organized, there's a big picture involved that takes you step by step by step by step through a lot of stuff. The other side of the coin is you could take one lesson, you could take that one lesson, the very first lesson, and none of the rest of it, and you would have very usable content. You would have very usable techniques that you can apply to make real music on the guitar. So that's what this lesson series is about. So this next video will be coming to you in a couple of days, day after tomorrow probably. So watch your inbox for that. Do me a favor, go to Master Guitar School's Facebook page and leave some comments. I'm interested in a feedback loop. I want to hear your ideas, suggestions, criticisms. I'm open to it all. I want to get a dialogue going. You could, if you want to speak privately, you can email me, Jay at masterguitarschool.com, and I'll look forward to hearing from you, and I'll look forward to seeing you in a couple days. Talk to you later.